We've all heard about intentional living. Probably you've come to this video just to know more about living intentionally. And I'm here to say to you that living intentionally is just doing the things that really nourish you, making choices and aspects of life, simplifying your life, reducing distractions, and focusing on what matters most. It involves establishing those routines, being mindful of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. The aim is to live a purposeful life that reflects your unique values and aspirations, rather than simply going through the motions of the fast life and following all the external expectations. It's just about doing those things that create a space in which you feel fulfilled, in which you feel satisfied, in which you feel graceful. It's about doing the small little things that nourish you, that make you feel the happiest. Intentionally choosing to prioritize your beliefs, your values, aligning them with your actions, and making them your keystone. When you live an intentional life, you make choices in which your life runs. You make those meaningful decisions at a time space that you want to make them to. It's about creating the life that you want, the life that you aspire to have. Getting those bumps of energy, not being embarrassed about choosing to do things on your own, choosing to create goals that people may find impossible, just making every step with any intention, choosing everything every day with an intention of you want to do this because it helps you, trying to stay focused, not thinking about what social media says that everything needs to be aesthetically pleasing before you live your life. You don't have to have an aesthetic house, you don't have to have an aesthetic breakfast, you don't have to have an aesthetic cup like everyone has. It's just about you choosing to do those things that make you happy with what you have got, being content with intentional living the way you're living. Let's get into the video and hear more about intentional living. Hey guys, welcome. My name is Lucy and I talk about self-love, self-growth, self-development, productivity and all the things in between, okay? And please let me know what intentional living means to you in the comments and what you have done in any of the things I've mentioned that is intentional in your own way. So anyways, let us get into the whole entire video and talk about intentional living. So if you want to start creating an intentional life and you want to be more intentional with your life, intentional living is a combination of self-awareness, setting goals, and consistent action, because you require those things in order for you to live intentionally. Because life has to be lived in a purposeful way, in a way that you feel purposeful, in a way that you feel fulfilled and you feel really happy. It's not about I'm looking for my purpose. This is about living the life in a purposeful way. It requires constant effort, but the result is more meaningful and more purposeful and very joyous. Yeah, I promise you that, okay? If that makes sense. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that will really help you. Now, number one is identifying your value. So in the current times that we're living in, it's so hard sometimes to keep up with our values and our beliefs. They get so lost in the world, what the world requires of us, what is moving fast, what is trending, what is here, what is there, you know, what I can do more to be this, to do that. And we forget about our core values. So if you want to live a life with intention, you have to sort of go back and reflect on your beliefs and values, your core beliefs. What do you believe in? What is value to you? How do you feel valuable, and what values do you have as a person? Because as we grow up as people, we have certain things that are values and the things that are non-negotiables. We can't go beyond those, and those are our beliefs. So knowing your values can help you to make intentional choices that align with what matters with you most. So it's very important for you to just go back and reflect on your values, reflect on your beliefs, truly and truly makes you happy. The next one is create a plan. Develop a plan that can allow you to achieve those goals that you want to achieve. Break them down into smaller, actionable steps to lead you to achieving, those goals that you want to achieve. These steps can be daily, monthly, weekly, or yearly, depending on how you want to do it. If you want to live intentionally, it's also making those intentional steps to get to that goal that you want to achieve. Next one is eliminate your distractions. Anything that is distracting you to get to that goal, that is distracting you from living a purposeful life, you need to try and eliminate it away. You need to try and take it away. This means taking away anything that is distracting you from achieving those goals that you want to achieve. If it's social media, if it's friends, if it's the environment, if it's something that you're currently doing that is a distraction to the goal that you have set, then you have to try and take it away, because that is living intentional to the life that you want to live, intentional to the purpose that you want to be. And the kind of person that you see yourself being is sometimes taking away those distractions. As much as hard as it sounds, like I'm a social media girl, I'm all the time scrolling on social media, which I shouldn't, because sometimes it gives me a sense of like I'm living on earth, I'm around, I'm living within the world and what the world is going on. It can act as a distraction for me to do the things I want to do. So in order for you to live a purposeful life, an intentional life, it is very important for you sometimes to eliminate those distractions. This may mean using less of social media, turning off notifications, not going to those activities that you want to go to that literally do not allow you to prioritize the goals that you want to do, the things that you align with, the purpose that you are trying to live, the life that you're trying to live. The next one is mindfulness. Now, this is something that I'm also trying to learn, trying to get into, trying to do as much as I can, because it's so important. So mindfulness means to cultivate mindfulness and awareness of your own thoughts and your own emotions. Actions, being mindful of how you feel, being mindful of what is going on around you, being mindful of everything that you do every day, every action you take. When you wake up in the morning, you wake up with two things in your mind. It's either to do or not to do. So that action that you take in order to get you to where you want to get is so important. Your emotions when you wake up in the morning, how are you feeling? Are you feeling energetic, low? Being so self-aware, and thinking about what your mind is feeling and what is communicating to your body is just so important for an intentional living. Because when you're living intentionally, you're trying as much as you can to be purposeful. You're trying as much as you can to put that attention back to yourself and be a little bit more mindful. And sometimes in mindful, you have to take care of yourself by including self-care. But anyways, that video is coming up. The next video after this is going to be all about self-care, 10 habits of taking care of yourself and all that kind of thing. So watch out for that video. But please be aware of your mind, how your mind is communicating to you, what is speaking to you, what is saying to you, what is communicating, what is constantly saying. Pay attention to it. It's hard, me sitting here and telling you that try to do this, try to say no to your emotions, try to say no to this and that, try to do this, try that. It's hard, but it's all about taking those steps. Every single day you decide to do something that is towards your goal, towards your priority, it's taking a bigger step than you did yesterday. So every single time you feel like you're not pushing as hard as you want to push, or you're not getting there, the fact that you have already started and you're taking those small steps is already a goal to achieve to where you want to get to. It's the same thing with your emotions, just little by little, paying attention to them, being aware of them is so important if you're trying to live an intentional life. This point deserved a mark, and that is continuously learning. It's so important to always learn every single day continuously. It's good for your self-development, it's good for your own life, it's making your life have meaning, because intentional living is about the meaningfulness of your life. The fact that you're watching this video and you're sitting down here and watching me, that means that you are one step better than you were yesterday, because you're learning something new today, aren't you? That is continuous learning, isn't it? Because continuous learning helps you to develop new skills, learn something new, and also prioritize the goals in which that you are heading on to, which is so beautiful. That is why I've linked down all my books that I read in my Amazon storefront. Go and check them out. The books that I personally read and I personally read for. Nothing personal, nothing any different, but go and check it out. I just thought I'll bring out the microphone as I'm talking about continuous learning, because it's so important for you to learn something new every day. You will not regret it. Don't think about now, think about the future. Because if you're planning to have children one time in your life, sometimes this continuous learning is something that you're going to pass on to your children. You didn't think about that, didn't you? That they'll learn. Anyways, let's move on to the next point. This next point, it needs a clap. Build strong relationships. Build relationships with people that support your goals and your priorities. Sometimes it's not because you can't get to the point that you want to get to. It's not about you can't live the way you want to live. You can't make meaning out of your life. You can't make purpose out of your life. It's sometimes the friends and the people that you surround yourself that are pulling you down every single day. If you are in an environment whereby people keep dragging you down and you're trying to move a step up, it's so much. The forces that are pulling you down are stronger than you, one person that is trying to lift yourself up. So build strong, meaningful relationships. If a relationship that you're building with someone is not meaningful, it doesn't mean they're horrible people. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just means that they are not for you in the journey that you're trying to set, the life that you're trying to live, the goals that you're trying to achieve. That's what it means. And it's not bad as saying, you know what, thank you very much, but I'm just going to take a step back and prioritize myself and think about more about myself, and I'm just going to put you there. You can do you. It doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad person, but the journeys are different, and sometimes those steps have to be made. Because these connections with the relationship that you're building can provide you with emotional and accountability support that probably you may not have, or you may need. So when you build those relationships, sometimes you need someone that you can lean on and talk to, but in a very strong emotional way, and friends that and people and surroundings and family that can literally keep you accountable for that goal that you're trying to achieve. The last point is creating meaningful goals. Creating goals that you break down into short-term goals and long-term goals. When I was growing up, when I was a child, there is something that they always said in school when I was studying entrepreneurship and I was studying business at that time and accounting, and they always mentioned this word SMART. When you're setting your goals, you always have to follow this SMART theory, and it's all about it being specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So if you want to live an intentional life, you have to pay attention to those things. If you're setting a goal, ask yourself, is it specific? What particular goal do I want to set? Is it measurable? How can I be able to attain this in the actions and everything that I do? Is it attainable? Am I able to achieve it? Am I really able to attain this goal that I'm setting? Is it being realistic? For example, you say that you want to save 20,000, but your job that you're working at gives you 1,200, 12,000, and you have rent that is £800. How are you going to get to that point unless you're having other multiple sources of income? Then, well, that is attainable. Then be real, so you have to think about it in a very realistic way and say that, is this goal really realistic? Am I really going to be able to achieve it? And also, it's time bound. Do you want to achieve this in a week? Do you want to achieve this, in a month, in a day, in a certain period of time, in some years to come? Make it time bound. At what point do you want to achieve this? And if you don't, always go back and recheck and reset and reevaluate yourself, if that really makes sense. So that is all from me today when it comes to an intentional living. What is it that you have learned? What is it that you feel like you can incorporate? Why is it that you feel like, that is really good? You have to remember, intentional living is continuous living, but living towards the purpose, the life, the goals that you want to live towards. So it's not about, these habits I'm setting, what am I doing? It's like, what are you putting around those habits to support the way you're living? What plans have you set? What goals have you set for yourself? What friends have you put around yourself? Do these things that I'm setting for myself align with my goals and values? But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. The next video is going to be about self-care tips that can really help you to live an intentional life. So thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.